I guess I should back up and say, why did we pick this site? Because I spent 3 years looking for land. We were not able to purchase in Nairobi. At that time, 1 acre of land was $600,000, and I had a plan and vision from the beginning to establish a cooperative study program for the students, because before moving to Kenya, I was living in West Africa, and I was inspired by Pentecostals who were successful in having sustainable Bible schools by having a campus where the students worked part-time and then they studied part-time. Yeah. So this cooperative study program was inspired by them, but also from my own studies in architecture. So the University of Cincinnati is a cooperative study program. So there, the architecture program is a 6-year bachelor's degree, but that's because starting your second year, 6 months of the year, you're working as an architectural intern, yeah. And then 6 months you're doing your studies. So that when you graduate, you have 2 years of experience already. Okay. So here, we have the students working on the farm. One, it's to provide for the daily needs of their vegetables, but also land for the chickens, the cows, and the goats that we have, and rabbits. So to provide that sustainability, because you can see the demographics of Christianity in the West, where the number of Christians is continually reducing, and it's going to happen in the future that the Western world can no longer support the growing church in Africa, which is the fastest growing area for Christianity in the world at the moment. So we had to come up with an idea how is it going to be able to sustain if the money isn't there. So I wanted to buy enough land, so 15 acres was enough land. Coming up with a site plan, trying to calculate how many students you'd have and how much land you would need to farm that. And if it's $600,000 in Nairobi, you couldn't buy 15 acres. Yeah. So I was just looking in different areas, south of the airport, north of Nairobi, and it took 2 years to locate this plot. And then I found out that there's a planned highway, a bypass highway, that's going to go through here, south of the Nairobi National Park, which is going to connect to the highway that's by the airport. So when you arrived, that highway that we came in on, right now there's only a highway that goes into town. Yeah. So there's going to be a highway that goes south of town. And then also you see the power towers here. Those weren't here at that time. The frames were starting to be erected soon after in 2018. And then coming down the mountain, far over there, the Chinese built a tunnel for a railway. So there's a train that actually goes through these Gong Hills. It goes all the way to the coast. So they've already, that wasn't done at that time. There was a huge machine that was just drilling a hole through the highway for trains, and that's already completed and done, all the way going to Western Kenya and then the interior of Africa, where they source the resources to make our cell phones and
yes,
all the other things.
Well, no, that's actually, am I right? That's part of the Belt and Road Initiative.
Right.
So they're staking their claim to parts of Kenya and Africa.
Right.
Right, with that.
Right. Yeah, so when we purchased this land, we were able to get 15 acres for $225,000. $50,000 of that, or almost that much, was just for legal fees. But already here, 1 acre of land has already quadrupled in price since that time. So it was good to buy when we did. So in the future, if they want to move the school farther inland, they can, or whatever.
Not sure I want to be around to help with the walls. I mean, it is interesting though. So that highway is still going to take place out here.
Right.
Do you have a sign with an off-ramp to the Lutheran Theological School?
Yeah, I've tried not to build that, so that I've been trying to slow the development out here. But as you look out and see, it's developed so much. I can't. It's hard to imagine how quickly everything developed. I mean, even the power lines in that road that's out there, that wasn't there when we first moved out here, and it just wasn't, that road was not passable at all.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I think, so with the image of you in your tent and the pictures we've seen, you in your little tent out there by those trees just a few years ago, and looking at this here, you almost can't help to think of which American author was it who said he's never seen a statue in any country in the world to a committee. But there are a lot of statues to men that God used to do things. This is quite a blessing and an achievement by itself. It's really not just beautiful, but it's a formidable kind of entry for the church here and our upcoming generations. Yeah.
That's all a gift of God and all by His grace.